What is up, gang? In this video, okay, I'll probably the gain on that was that was probably bad sounding. But let's get into this video. I'm ranking all the Star Ocean 4 characters based on how good they are in battle. You know how that all happens. You know to like and subscribe if you like RPG content. You know all that crap. So let's get into this. So let's start from Edge. You know what? Hot take. I think Edge is actually amazing. So many people are like, as soon as you get Miracle in your party, Edge is never worth using ever again. And I say blasphemy. Edge goes into the A tier. Sure, his name is Goofy. Sure, he has the generic blonde hair. His name is freaking Edge Maverick, like Edge Lord, bruh. And sure, he has a stupid character arc in the second act where he's just like, I can't tamper with anything because I'm blonde and I'm a hero. Frick you, Edge. Anyway. Please, be more like Edge from FF4, for goodness sake. Anyway, but Edge is so evil, he knocked down my computer plug. Okay, there we go, I fixed it. Oh, alright. And he knocked it down again. Okay, I'll fix it later. But anyway, next, yeah, he's just really good, actually. Like, he has got great comboing abilities. He has one of the best blind sides in the game because it's just quick and it's just powerful, right? He also has the ability to heal himself, so he's pretty sustainable, and he's like one of the best tanks in the game in terms of just having good health. And since he's in the game for so long, his beat is going to be very high leveled from the get-go, and he just is good. Like, he's all around a really good character. And I look at the game FAQs and I was like, why does everyone hate Edge? But then I posted some polls over on my channel and Edge was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'll fix my computer. Anyway, Edge just really just takes the cake as one of the best characters. I mean, on game FAQs, everyone's like, he sucks. And then I posted on my fan poll, and it was like 90% Edge votes all the time. Maybe people are just Edge lords over on my channel, but really, Edge just, and I mean, like, yeah, just because he's the first character, I mean, I know a lot of people might like main him or something. So I get that maybe some people are like, oh, well, but just because he's the first character, people say he's good because he's the first character. But I really don't think so. I think he's a very well-balanced character as a whole. And yeah, one of the best in the game. Not like the best, but I still had him in my party very regularly in the end game. All right, next we've got Raimi, who's going to go up in the S tier. As to nobody's surprise, I am sure, she has long range attacks, which already makes her pretty broken. She has the best AoE damage in the game. She has one of the best critical hit rates. Just the only things that she's really missing are blindside and dodges. Her dodge sucks and her blindside sucks even more. But when you have this much power from range, yeah, it doesn't matter. Also, the magic casters can do damage from range, and Bacchus can do damage from range. But Bacchus's damage is more like shotgun, like mid-range stuff. And the magic casters, the biggest problem with magic casting is, sure, you can find their weaknesses and spend time inspecting and all that stuff. But even still, nobody's got the crazy AoE of like some of Raimi's abilities. Like, a lot of people are arguing, well, Phase Ice Needles is just as good as Raimi and sustained me throughout the whole game. I heard some people say that, and I'm like, okay, but Raimi, her abilities and her physical attacks are very good, whereas Phase's physical attacks suck, and its abilities are decent, but there's some casting time to them, and there's a high chance they might be like resistant to ice, or a lot of the enemies in this game are just flat out resistant to magic to the point it does like no damage. Anyway, all I gotta say is Raimi is good, and that's surely not a hot take. So yeah, let's move on to Phase, who goes in the K tier. Unfortunately, Limmel is not going to be in the K tier, but freaking Phase is so bad. I mean, if you spam Ice Needles from range and just spend all your SP right away into Ice Needles and just, sure, he can be okay. But as soon as you get someone else to replace him, I can't even comprehend why anyone would say Phase is actually better than anyone else. Like, his physical attacks suck, his magic attack pales in comparison to the 3 lady casters, and honestly, is not even that much better than Armot's, and he doesn't have healing. like the other lady caster. So basically, he's just worse than all the casters because his physical attacks aren't good anyway. I honestly would say they're worse than most. I mean, they're not worse than Sarah's, but I would honestly argue that FaZe's physical attacks are worse than Miura's and Limmel's because they can at least attack it, quote unquote, attack at range, even though it's really slow. So, I mean, I would never recommend it, but it's still better than this. So anyway, FaZe kind of sucks. He's fun to use. I really liked using him right when I got him, and I thought he was going to end up being really good, but he never got good. Like, bro tried to be a jack of all trades, and it failed. Like, absolutely failed. So, yeah. All right, Limmel, the K girl who should be in the K tier, but I'm going to throw in the C tier because honestly, she's not that bad. She's kind of the jack of all trades mage, whereas this dude is like a freaking red mage from Final Fantasy V without dual cast. Limmel's like a, you know, an FF3 NES Sage, except she isn't nearly as good as an FF3 NES Sage. But anyway, she has the ability to heal, the ability to do damage, and the ability to summon Cerberus for physical strikes. And on paper, that all sounds so good, but her stats just aren't nearly as good as Miura's, and her healing isn't as good as Sarah's. So she's in that middle where she isn't doing the damage as well or the healing as well. And I just kind of feel like she doesn't have as big of a place as the other two do. Like, she does cover some bases, and I do really like her dodge. It's really fun. I would say it's one of the better dodges in the game, but, you know, Limmel, just once I got Miura and Sarah, like, I felt like they just specialized in what I wanted more. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say Limmel is here on this list. All right, next we have Bacchus, and Bacchus will go in the B for Bacchus tier. I think he's pretty good. I don't think I would I can't, like, once I got other characters in my party, I never found myself wanting to put. Actually, you know what? I'm putting Limmel in B tier now that I think about it. I'm putting Limmel in B tier. She does got that, like, jack of all trades, like, can do a lot of things vibe. Never mind, I take back what I said. Because, yeah, she's got healing and magic and physical attacking with Cerberus. I don't know what I was saying, but she's still not as good as Bacchus, because Bacchus has got that long range. He's got an amazing dodge that lets him shoot while he's dodging, which is crazy. He's a great tank. He has some great AoE damage abilities. He can stun people well and all that stuff. But when you compare him to Raimi, he just doesn't have that damage capability, and his range is quite a bit worse. And when we compare him to Edge, Bacchus might be a better tank, but Edge can heal himself. He can combo better. And he's got a better blind side by far. So I think Bacchus is like high B tier, but nothing too special. All right, next we've got Miracle, who I'm going to put in the A tier right behind Edge. So Edge is more sustainable, like a better tank, but all that stuff. He's easier to use. He has a quicker blind side, a lot of that stuff. But Miracle, she's not a tank. She's very much a glass cannon, but she can combo better if you know what you're doing correctly. And her blind side is the best in the game because it practically makes her invincible. Even though it's not that fast, I still personally prefer Edge's blind side just because I love how, like, snappy it is. However, I totally think that Miracle's is objectively the best because of that, like, vulnerability period. But anyway, Miracle's just got that insane damage capability like no other character can do one-on-one damage as well. Now, the problem with Miracle that doesn't throw her up an S or even above Edge, in my opinion, not only is it her awful survivability, like sometimes I just don't even want to bring her into boss fights because she just dies a little too much for me. I mean, it's not like I'm not healing and stuff, but sometimes she just gets comboed and then she's dead. Like, it's a quick thing. But really, her biggest problem is she doesn't really have AoE damage, and she just doesn't have much range. Like, her attacks are just like right in front of her face. Whereas Raimi and the other S tier character both have great range. So yeah. All right, next we've got Miura, which is going to go in the A tier, which might come to some people's surprise, but I think she's kind of amazing. Like, her magic, she has a really good magic stat. Like, she can do a lot more damage than Limmel once you get her back up to speed. And she just goes crazy with that. And you give her Fast Cast and Fairy Star, and she's healing like crazy. So when you compare her to Limmel, you've got to say, do I want better magic, stronger magic damage, or do I want the ability to summon? It's kind of like a pollen versus variety thing in FF4. And to me, Miria just really takes the cake to me because she has that ability, just has a better magic stat, because summoning falls off pretty quickly earlier in the game. Now, the other thing is Miria also has better buffs that she has available. So she's got some good buffs, and I like that. So that is good. And it also helps that Miria isn't as annoying of a character. I don't know. That doesn't have anything to do with the battle, but you know, like, I guess that's nice. I just think that Miria is a bit more focused, and she has better stats across the board than Limmel. At least the stats that matter to me. So I'm going to put her in the A tier. So, and the reason I put her above Bacchus, because from what I kind of made it sound like, you're like, oh, well, maybe he says Bacchus is better. The problem is I think that you should have one caster in your party. Heck, actually, I want to crazily move her above Miracle because I think it is valuable to have one healer in your party. Some people might call me crazy for that, but I'm a traditionalist and I got to have a healer in my party. Like, I know I can use items, but I just want a healer in my party. And she also has Ice Needles, which is great. And she has the ability to heal, so she's just straight up better than Phase. And again, Ice Needles is pretty good. So yeah, anyway, I do think that she just, with better stats, buffing abilities and all that, she's definitely, I would say, someone I would use in my Final Four party. All right, next we've got Sarah, who is going to be in the C tier. I know I was bashing on Limmel earlier and saying, oh, she isn't as focused as Sarah, but kind of that's actually the problem with Sarah. She focuses a little bit too much on her healing side, so her damage outright sucks, and she doesn't get fast cast. So once you get fast cast, Miria and Limmel can both be better healers than her. So you're just at a point where Sarah's really pretty decent right when you get her, but like, I don't know, 2 hours later, you're like, ugh, she sucks. So yeah. I don't really know what else to say. She's just too much of a healer in a game where you've got to have a little bit more than being a healer to be good. Because frankly, I mean, I'm already kind of being biased enough for putting Miria this high when you got crazy items in this game. But again, I just feel like I need a healer. But anyway, in the S tier, we've got Arumot. Not above Raimi, though. That's a hard one. I'm going to put him below Raimi. I think he's way more fun to play as than Raimi. I much prefer playing as him, but I'm going to put him below. Now, if this wasn't apparent, I am not doing this based on when you get them in the game, because frankly, that doesn't matter too much in this game. I mean, just use the characters. Like, for a long time in the game, why make a tier list when you've only got, like, 4 playable characters anyway? And I feel like you get all these other characters back to back enough as long as you aren't doing too many crazy quests. Anyway, and this game has some crazy end game content where you have to swear the end game content and stuff is like 1/4, 1/3 of this game anyway. So anyway, let's get moving on why Arumot's good. So Arumot has all the crazy stuff that Raimi has. He has, instead of long range attacks though, so he's got great critical hits, he's got great AoE damage, he's also got great single target damage, great combos. Oh, I have to put him in the top. I have to put him on the top because he has those great combos too. Whereas Raimi, yeah, it's nice that she can shoot people, but she can't really combo people. Now, the reason I put Arumot above someone like, say, Edge is because Arumot's Scythe just has crazy range. He swings it around like a maniac, and his physical attacks hit everything around him. His abilities hit everything around him. It's absurd. And he has the ability to cast magic, like quite a few spells, just in case they're resistant to physical attacks. So I just think that Arumot's insane. Like, he's got great AoE, great single target, great comboing, he has magic, and he's like freaking Golbez from FF4, because frankly, I've made so many FF4 references today that I will continue to make FF4 references, and he's just got that crazy edge, like, no, why did I say edge to him? That's just a bad pun. Anyway, Arumot's just really, really good. Like, I think he's the best. Like, as soon as I started playing him, I'm like, bro, he's the best. And some of his skills are just so busted, it's not even funny. I mean, it is kind of funny, actually. So, yeah, I would say my picks for best party, yeah, these four. This is my favorite party, personally. But if I want to be less traditional and, like, you know, just use items like a boring person who is good at the game, then I will put these four in my party. I would say objectively, Miracle's probably a better character than Miria, but I personally think that Miria is. I want to have one mage in my party just for traditionalist sake. So I'll put Miracle above in the tier list for the sake of making sense. But I still would have Miria in my party. Yeah, I guess what I really usually do is these two, and then Edge for boss fights, Miracle for enemy fights, and then Miria. Just because Miracle dies too much in boss fights and it drives me crazy. So, yeah, that's my list. Hope you enjoyed. I mean, I use all the characters except for FaZe pretty much. But, I mean, I guess I even used FaZe because its levels transferred to Aruma, and I thought that's kind of important. But anyway, I think that all the characters are decent enough. And, yeah. So, let me know down below if you want to make some other, if you want me to make some other Star Ocean The Last Hope, Star Ocean 4, whatever you want to call it, content. I want to make a boss and a dungeon and a planet ranking, but if there's anything else you want me to rank, like a skill ranking or any of that jazz, I would love to do that. And, I mean, just let me know if you're even interested in boss, all that stuff. I could even do an enemy ranking if people are feeling a little spicy here. So, if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Like, subscribe, check out other videos, and, yeah, peace out. Thanks to my good man Chemo for being a patron. If you want tons of exclusive RPG content, join now as a patron today.